Okay, now let's work on that flat fall forward. What we're going to do is start off feet slightly wider than shoulders width distance apart. You're going to slide back into a horse stance right here. Now we're going to draw an X kind of between our legs right here. That's where our forearm's going to go, this part here. We're going to make sure that we turn our heads to the side. We're going to try to get down to the ground into our flat fall forward. And how we do that is we slide back again, and the second time, feet go wider on the balls of our feet, and we slide down. My hands are here, heads to the side, and I slide back. Right here. It's important that I have my foot on the ball of feet here. Hands are here, body's off the ground, and my head is turned to the side. I don't want my head looking down because when I flat fall forward, I might hit my face. So I want to have my head turned to the side, hopefully landing on my own hands. When you're doing this in concrete or outside, where there might be glass, sharp rocks, or something that could cut your wrists, you want to make sure that you do your flat fall forward like in a knife hand strike position, which means taking the wrist and turning it up here. This way you don't cut the wrist, so it's falling there. In one motion, here. From your flat fall forward position, you come up with a forward roll. Leg comes up, roll, turn. When you're practicing the flat fall forward, you can also do it from knee position and just fall forward. And practice that way. It's important when you're doing this exercise that you get used to hitting with all your forearm and not with your wrist first. This is what a lot of beginners do right here. I can hurt your wrists. It's okay if you blend into it, but make sure you do not stop your momentum with those wrists. Just fall here. Again, making sure that your head is turned to the side. Now when we're doing it from standing, our weight is sliding back. So we're not really falling forward, even though it's called a flat fall forward. We're falling forward after we move our weight back. So when I'm here, it's as if my legs are already out. And I'm here. Just falling forward. Making sure that our head is turned to the side so that we do not smack our nose onto the ground. Is standing in a horse stance. So first you're just standing in a horse stance, not too deep, just kind of a normal horse stance. Then he's going to slide back in a little bit of a deeper stance, which means his legs are bent more and he's wider. He's down ready. Now you're going to draw that imaginary X in front of you or between your legs, doesn't matter. And you're going to slide back again one more time. Now look how low I am. I'm really close to the ground. If I'm up here and I fall forward, I got a distance to fall. So I get myself really low, so all I have to do is kick those feet out, and I'm right here. I'm down. So I have, my hands are turned like this, so that my wrists are not on the ground. I don't want to cut myself with rocks or glass or hit that radial artery. So I have my hands slightly turned like this. I'm on the ball of my feet because I might be with an opponent grappling. So I want my weight on them. So I have a ball of feet. Also, I can spring up and I can move a lot faster if I'm on the balls of my feet. Now I'm going to bring a right leg up and I'm going to just go with that shoulder and that leg that's forward. Right leg forward, right knee up means right shoulder roll. What's the only other thing with the flat fall forward that I didn't cover that we need to do?
Turn your head to the side.
Turn your head to the side. So when I fall, my head is to the side, not facing the ground. I don't want to smash my nose. Go. And roll.
Open those hands up, burrito. This is Ronnie's first one that I've watched. Legs a little bit wider out. More to. Make sure we are breathing when we go down, so we do not knock the wind out of us. Burrito, open those fists up. And breathe out.
Another application for that flat fall forward is if someone reaches behind and grabs and pulls out those legs. And here, you can do a flat fall forward down there. Up. You can also flat fall forward if he was to be swept forward. You can do sort of a modified flat fall forward. Do it again. Do it right this way. You can do one arm, whatever naturally would be a flat fall forward. You can also do a flat fall forward when being swept or going anything that knocks you to the ground. Here, protecting your head, keeping your weight off the ground, and getting ready to do a defense.
Seconds.
If you have a knife or an object in one of your hands, you're going to keep that weapon hand up and close and off the ground. When you roll, bring that right leg up, hand comes through, and up.
In the middle. Now you guys have to decide how comfortable you are with this. We're still on flat fall forward, but we're gonna do an application of flat fall forward against that tackle. So if Carlos comes in at me and he tackles, I'm gonna flat fall forward here, putting all my weight onto him this way, working off to the head here. All right. So I'll put one hand on the head like this. I'll get under this arm, using the leverage here, and I'll rotate there so I have the eyes here. This one little reach back, and I'm up. That's the drill that we're going to do. So we're just going to flat fall forward, but you got to get a deep tackle. Slide all the way back, get all that weight, a sprawl, onto the back of those shoulder blades. So we do this at least 3 times before this guy's out. So you attack 3 times, and you've done it 3 times, and you stop. So let's say Dom will go 1. Come in and tackle. Good. Now you can get on the knee, push the head down, get onto your right knee, Carlos, so you can move. Okay. And a little bit over there to that side. Yeah. Get under that arm, get that leverage on top of your own hand. Left hand would roll from here to the eyes, and then you peel and up. So you scratch the eyes and you get up and you escape. We're doing an escape maneuver, which is get away. You'd only do the reverse roll if he's practicing the reverse roll, but not necessarily in a self-defense scenario. Now he's already gone, so Arita will go, someone else will go. And later on, we're not going to tell you who's going to go. You're just going to jump out there. And a little more commitment next time. Push that head down, Carlos, with your weight, okay? Bring the camera over here. Flip back over, Arito. I want to show this where his head is. Okay, Carlos, go again. Do the technique. And watch. From here, look. His hand, this hand needs to be on top. On top, Carlos. Top. There you go. This hand needs to be on top of your own hand to give yourself the leverage. Now rotate it over and let that hand slip to the eyes. Yeah. And then he stands up and then you're out of there. You even will want, you'll even want a little bit more. So I'm really pushing my weight on that head. Feel that? And I get under, I want even more of this hand on top of this one. I don't have to be here. I can get here. I want this leverage because I'm using this lift right there. Just turning this part over and going here. And I got both my hands on this head because it's hard to control a person's body, but it's easy to control a person's head. All I have to do is push right here down, boom, right into the ground, a little bit of a knockout right there. I'll have my hand and fingers on his eyes, boom, I can just do a little drop right there. I don't care how strong this guy is, how strong his neck is, he's not going to be able to keep me from just pushing his head onto the ground right here. Okay, so I just give a little bit of a pop, boom, boom, got my finger on the eyes, hands are up, watching the people that are around me, and then I'm out of there. Go. Somebody else, go up to Carlos. Carlos needs to go down to the ground once you've gotten that sprawl. Getting on your knee. Get down to your knees so that you have a little control. Remember, you can pop that head. When he does a sprawl, your hand and weight has to be on his head. You didn't have enough weight on your neck. When you went to turn your, you got to swap from the back of the shoulder blades, all the weight, to his neck and his head, and put that weight there, and then get comfortable. Right? You don't want to be trying to move his head around from this position. You want to get comfortable and then try to do it. But a lot more of your weight on the back of that neck and head. So let's go in there. At least 3 times each. You got to really try to grab him. Okay. Knife up on the flat fall or when you do your roll. So if it's further away, from your roll. Otherwise you can grab onto it right when you fall. Okay? Remember, you're rolling with a knife. Yeah. So you don't want to stick it in our body. So pay attention. Now you're doing a flat fall and you're rolling with a weapon.
Now what should I do with the knife?
You should get it back here. It should go here or here. So just drop it somewhere on the mat as you pass. Yeah. Cut your finger? Yes, sir. Just paying attention. Watch where that blade is. You want to be cutting yourself.
Put those legs out a bit more, Jay.
come up to here. You're going to do a thrust. So he thrusts in. We're going to come up into that wrist here, right there. And then brachial artery, stab it. We'll flip it, and we'll push him over here. And I'm getting him out of the way. And now I'm ready to do my thrust.
And I run
Again? Yeah, so he goes here. So he comes in, I come up. He comes in, I do a cat stance pivot. I'm on the outside here, cutting up there. Boom. I'm going to grab that weapon hand, cut down in the brachial. Then I got my stab. I'm flipping. I would never flip a knife in combat. I'm doing it for manipulation training. We're training. Just so I can put it on the neck there. So I got my control point on his carotid artery, and I'm kind of saying, hey, I'm going to slice your carotid artery right here if you don't chill out. And I'm going to push him away. Just like that. Flip it back, and I'm waiting for my thrust. I'm just in my stance waiting. As soon as that guy's up, bam, thrust in. Okay, you're going to flop forward, roll. Up. Good. Push it, don't cut it. We're just gonna push it, yeah. You're not going in too close. Right here. I'm kind of ready, you know, to come back or do something.
Yeah.
So I'm not really into that wall. Just like I'm, you know, like I'm, you know, 5 foot forward on the ground.
Okay.
Just like that. Come over, right here. Head turned to the side. Judo jump. Okay. Pushes me into the wall. This here is how you are. Look at my body position.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then from here, I use this ground leg. Boom. Okay. That's a kick.
Okay.
Kick each other. Let's go. Good one.
Oh!
Alright. Kick him in the face? Target, guys. Where they can take it. Back here.
So lucky I can't kick that high.
Okay, look at your feet.
A little farther apart. See if I like and pick up. The heel up there or something.
Okay, today we're going to be working on the flat fall forward. Now the flat fall forward is a technique that should be practiced, or is highly recommended to be practiced by martial artists around the world. Why? Because so many martial artists are practicing to protect themselves from punches, from kicks, from their opponent, but they're often forgetting about the environment, the ground, the trees, the walls. You get pushed into a wall, flat fall forward to protect yourself. You know, have your legs pulled out from under you, protect yourself from slamming your face into the ground. I'm going to go over some of the specific applications of the flat fall forward in a bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the flat fall forward into 3 different sections. Section number 1 is going to be me demonstrating the flat fall forward correctly for you, a few different angles. Section number 2 will be, I'll be breaking down the steps of the flat fall forward into 1, 2, 3, 4. Such a way so you'll be doing the flat fall forward like an expert in no time. And finally, section number 3, the applications of the flat fall forward. Why would we ever use such a flat fall forward? I'm going to answer that question for you. Okay, so to begin with, on section number 1, the flat fall forward demonstrated from a few different angles. Okay, that is the flat fall forward demonstrated from a few different angles. Now moving on to section number 2, breaking down the flat fall forward into easy to learn steps. Okay, so step number 1, we're just going to stand normal. Shoulder width apart, just stand comfortable. Step number 2, what we want to do is slide our feet backwards in a diagonal direction. almost like into a horse stance. Now step number 3 is we want to create an imaginary X between our legs. And this is where we're going to drop down in the mind, body, spirit position. Now notice that when we drop, we're not just dropping on our wrists. We're dropping evenly between the knife edges of our hands as well as our forearms right there. And then when we drop as well, we're going to be sliding our feet backwards in a rear diagonal direction a little bit more, landing on the balls of our feet. Like so. Now notice that when I drop, this is very, very important. My head is turned to the side. If my head was just face flat, and if the ground was a little bit elevated, more elevated than I expected, I could slam my face in the ground. So always turn your head to the side, either left or right, to protect yourself. And then finally, step number 4, simply want to roll out of it. To do a right shoulder roll, slide that right foot forward, go into the shoulder roll like so. So to recap that one more time, step number 1, stand normal. Step number 2, slide back into that horse stance. Step number 3, create that horse stance, or create that X between our legs, and slide back, landing in that mind, body, spirit position with our head turned to the side. Look. Forward roll out of it. So that's breaking down the flat fall forward into 4 easy to learn steps. Now finally, section number 3, the applications of the flat fall forward. Hey, Mr. Ogden, if you'd help me out. The first application that we're going to do is going to be defense against if somebody pulls out your legs from under you. Now notice, if I didn't know what I was doing, if somebody pulled out my legs, I would be slamming forward with all the weight into the ground. So I need to soak up that energy and momentum with something, which is going to be mind, body, spirit, flat fall forward. Mr. Ogden? Now make sure that you turn your head when you land, and of course, get out of it in style by forward rolling. Okay, the second application that we're going to do is application against a charged defense. You'll also see this in the system in one of our magnificent 7s for the charges. So if you have a training partner, an opponent, what you want him to do is actually charge for you, grabbing your legs, like he's going to try to tackle you. Now notice, if you're having trouble practicing this, like it doesn't seem to be working so well for you, it'll probably have to do with your opponent not being committed. He has to be fully committed to grabbing those legs. So Mr. Ogden, slide back, flat fall forward on the top of his back with all of my weight right there, driving him to the ground. And you could go into whatever grappling technique moves you need to from there. And finally, for the third application, we're going to switch to a little bit of a different location. So bear with us for just a moment as we go about and do that. Okay, now that we're in our new location, let me demonstrate the third application of the flat fall forward. Now this is going to be the application if someone pushes you from behind and you're facing a wall, a tree, or anything like that, and you need to soak up that energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that flat fall forward, soak up the energy just like I'm on the ground, but with the wall, with the mind, body, spirit triangle, distributing the weight evenly with that right there. Making sure that I turn my head always to either left or right to protect my face. So Mr. Ogden, if you'd help me out here. Push me, step forward. My feet are pretty wide, almost like a horse stance. I'm going to soak up that energy as well for that third application of the flat fall forward. Okay, that is a flat fall forward. Thank you.